Nothing says the holidays like these cookies. They're one of my favorites. With their beautiful pinwheel shape, they capture everyone's attention on a dessert table or a cookie tray. They don't disappoint when you take a bite. The cookie is soft and tender. The filling is mostly sweet, a little bit of tang, and the overall mixture is seasoned with a hint of citrus. So let's dive in and make some holiday pinwheel cookies together. First thing you need to do is print out the recipe. It's in the description below. It's a printable link. That way you can follow along with me. I also have some tools that I use and love. You'll see those in the description as well. So let's make our filling. We want to make it ahead and then it has time to cool while we make our cookie dough. This recipe calls for cranberries, orange marmalade, and honey. And I'll say this, if cranberries aren't your thing, you can use your own favorite preserves. You can use raspberry or apricot or anything that you like. They will work just the same. You need 2 cups of cranberries in a medium saucepan. That's 185 grams, and these are fresh. You need a half of a cup of orange marmalade. That's 160 grams, and 2 tablespoons of honey, and that is 30 milliliters. Now turn your heat to medium, and you want to cook this until you see the berries will actually start popping. It's actually kind of fun. Once they start popping, then you just want to leave this cook 8 to 10 minutes until this is all cooked down into a nice jam consistency. So it takes a little bit of patience. Just stir it every once in a while, and I will show you the consistency you're looking for when we get there. This is the consistency you're looking for. That's a homemade jam. So take it off the heat and put it in a heat-proof bowl. This will solidify a little more while it sits and cools. And next we're going to make our cookie dough. Okay, the first step is to put 2/3 of a cup of unsalted butter at room temperature, nice and soft, into your mixing bowl. This is 152 grams. So we're going to mix this until it is smooth and creamy, maybe just like a minute or so. Depends on the temperature of your house. If it's a little cooler, it may take a little longer to get smooth. I scrape down my bowl. I'm going to give it one more stir. It's getting pretty creamy. Next, we're going to add a half of a cup of granulated sugar, 100 grams. Just pour that directly into your bowl. And we're going to add the zest of 1 orange. Normally, I would put the zest right in the sugar and then massage it to get those oils out and extract some of the flavors. But this will do the same thing since it's right there in the mixer with it. The granules of sugar will do the very same thing as it spins around in there. So that beautiful zest. Now just let that mix for 2 to 3 minutes or so till it's nice and light and fluffy. So I beat this for about 3 or 4 minutes, and I just wanted to show you the consistency. Look how different it looks now. We're adding 1 egg in. This is at room temperature. And you want to make sure that you let this get completely incorporated before you move on. So this is blended together very nicely now. Whenever you first put the egg in your batter, you'll see it separate. There's water in the egg, there's water in the butter even, and water and fat don't mix. They want to just repel each other. The lecithin in the egg yolk, given time, will blend those two or emulsify them perfectly together, and that's exactly what's happened here. Let that egg blend and blend and blend. This is what it should look like. Now it's time to add a couple more ingredients. We're adding a tablespoon of milk. This is just for the overall tenderness of the cookie. That is 15 milliliters. This stuff is all at room temperature, by the way, if I didn't say that. Next, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. That's 4 grams. And for flavor, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, that is 5 milliliters. We're gonna let this blend just for a moment. I'm gonna scrape the bowl down, and next we'll add our flour. So you need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, that's 250 grams. And we're gonna add half of it in. And I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but I'm just gonna kind of scoop in here. Pour this in. We're gonna let the mixer stir the first bit in. Once you see that it's incorporated, shut that off. We are done with the mixer. We will do the rest by hand. The batter is nice and tender. We've incorporated lots of air into it with the creaming method, and stirring this last bit of flour in gently just helps keep the crumb of the cookie tender. So fold that in. Okay, batter is all done. I have folded the last bit of flour in. You can see what we've got here. It smells amazing. That little hint of citrus in there just smells so good. So now I have my nice little E-Tech City scale here, which I really love. It's super simple to use. Zero that out. You want to divide your batter in half. So I'm weighing mine. If you have a scale, I would encourage you to do that so that you can get a more precise measurement, because we're putting this in 2 squares, and then we're cutting squares out of this dough. So it helps if the batter is divided in half. So just get your total measurement. This is 566 grams. I'm just going to divide that in half. Make 1 square of dough here and 1 square of dough here in my plastic wrap, and we'll get that into the fridge. So that divides into 283 grams each. So I'm going to put half here, the other half here. I'm going to make this into a bit of a square shape, because ultimately that's what we're going to do with it. Once it comes out of the fridge, it's a whole lot nicer if it's already in that square shape. Wrap that. I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece and get these into the refrigerator. The dough should refrigerate for 2 to 3 hours, or until it feels firm enough for you to roll out. So I'll see you back here in a bit. We're going to have some fun now. We're going to roll our dough out. It's out of the refrigerator. Turn your oven to 375 or 190 Celsius. We're going to roll this into a 10 by 10 inch square, or 26 centimeter. Some flour. You want to flour your surface. Flour the top. I'm using an adjustable rolling pin that has measuring rings on the side. This is 1/8 of an inch or 3 millimeters. This is a really nice way to make sure that your dough is consistent in the thickness all around. So we're going to start in the center. I'm pressing on it just a little to soften the butter. And then we're just going to start rolling it out till we get to our desired measurements. So I'm going to start rolling from the center out. So once you have your dough rolled out, you can use a tape measure or a ruler, whatever you need to do to get your 10 by 10 or your 26 centimeters. I have this interesting way, which I would highly recommend you do, because it's actually really, really easy. This is already pre-measured. It's just a piece of parchment paper, but you can lay this right on top of your dough. Find your spot where it fits all around and then just cut around it. It's really, really easy to do, like so. Grab your cutter and just run right along the edges. And you have your square. It's just really an easy way to do it. Peel the edges away. And that part is done. Now we have perfect little dough squares. We're going to put these on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper to leave a little space in between them. They don't expand a ton, but they do a tiny bit. You want to put a 1-inch slit in the corner, so go right to the corner of each of these. That's 2.5 centimeters, and you just make a slit. You can spin it around, make a slit, and do that with all of your squares. Once you have all the slits on your squares, the next step is putting your filling in. You need about 3/4 of a teaspoon. This is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm just doing a heaping one. It's about 8 grams. And I'm just going to put that in the center of each one. Now you need a small dish of water, and that's just to seal the little ends. So just use your finger and just take one point and fold it up over onto the dough. Touch some water on it and then fold the next one up. You just do every other one. And then the next one. And then the last one. And that is a perfect little pinwheel. Now we just need to do that a bunch more times. We have one tray done, so I'm going to put these in the oven. Again, that's 375 or 190 Celsius. We're going to put them in for 8 to 10 minutes. Err on the side of caution till you see every oven is different. So I actually will bake these for 8 minutes, but they may take longer in yours. They might even take a shorter time. So I'm going to put them in the oven and I will set my timer for 8 minutes. You'll see the edges are just lightly browned, and that's when you want to take them out. While our cookies finish baking, I have some cooling here, some behind me. We're going to make our glaze that we'll just kind of drizzle on once they're all cool. You need 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. That's 60 grams. I put it in a little bit of a larger bowl because I'm going to be whisking and it gets messy. 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla for flavor. That's 2.5 milliliters. 1 teaspoon of milk. This is whole milk, and that's 5 milliliters. Give that just a little bit of a whisk. Okay, I'm just going to leave that like that. And then this is the orange that we zested earlier. Okay, so I am ladling in 2 teaspoons of the orange juice I just squeezed. That is 10 milliliters. That's just going to carry that nice citrus flavor through. And just give this a good whisk. If you like your drizzle a little thicker, you can add more powdered sugar to it. If you like it thinner, you can add a little more milk. So I've mixed this for a little while. Here's the consistency I was going for. I want it to just gently flow. I'm using one of the baking sheets that I baked cookies on, and I'm putting this right on top so that most of the mess drips down through and onto that. All you're doing is drizzling across all the cookies, and just keep doing this until you get them all done. So this one is mine. It has my name on it. I don't know if you can see that or not. It has my name on it. I've been waiting all day for this. Cookies are one of my very favorite things, and these, one time a year I make them, so I'm gonna enjoy. They're soft and tender. Look at that. Yum. As I said in the beginning, the cookie is tender, buttery, lightly sweet. The filling is sweet and it has a little bit of tang. You can taste the citrus from the orange in there. The glaze has a little bit of orange. These are delightful. Well, I enjoyed our time together in the kitchen. I always do. If you like this kind of a bake, these delicate, beautiful, delicious little cookies, like you should, check out my kolachki. They are truly amazing. They have an apricot filling in them, super yummy, and they're beautiful for the holidays. And if you're gearing up for the holidays like I am and you're searching for recipes, stick with me because I have more holiday bakes to come. Check out my playlist and I will bake with you in another video.